What's up guys, how's it going? So if you started following me within like the last 6 months or so for personal finance content, then you're probably a little confused about this video, but if you've been here for a while, then you know that my channel actually started out documenting my infertility journey with trying to get pregnant with my daughter, who is now a healthy 2-year-old. So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of like a summary of that. If you haven't watched any of those videos, if you wanna go back and watch all my old like infertility videos and vlogs and stuff, they're all up. But if you don't wanna go back and you don't really know my story, then I'm just gonna give you a quick summary and then get into the update, because it's a long awaited overdue update, and I'm really excited to be thinking about baby number 2. And yeah, so to summarize in as concise of terms as I can, we started trying to get pregnant, my husband and I, in January of 2017. And I had been on birth control for like, I don't know, a long time, since I was like a teenager. And at that point I was, I don't know, 30? I was 29, I was about to turn 30. So a very long time. And when I went off of birth control, my body was all confused and did not like it. By the way, like these infertility videos and trying to conceive videos are like TMI. We get into all the specifics and the details. So like if that's not something you want to hear, then this video is not for you. Just a warning. I went off birth control and I got like 3 periods the whole year. So it was basically impossible to get pregnant, and I went to my OBGYN and my primary care provider, and they did some testing, and eventually we found out that I had an issue with my thyroid, and I went to an endocrinologist and got on thyroid medication. That took like the better part of a year. I think I went on the thyroid medication maybe like around January of 2018 or so, maybe like spring of that year. I'd have to go back and watch my old videos, but I know it was like around there. And I had been to like a reproductive endocrinologist, and they, you know, had their own opinions, and that was kind of a bad experience. And I did several rounds of Clomid to try to help me get pregnant, which is a drug that helps you ovulate. Then after I went on to the thyroid medication, I did get pregnant in that summer of 2018. But it was an ectopic pregnancy, and so I went through that whole thing. Luckily, that could just be treated with a shot. I didn't have to have surgery. If you're not familiar, an ectopic pregnancy is where you get pregnant, but the pregnancy is not in the uterus. So it's like somewhere else in your body, like a fallopian tube or somewhere else where they can't find. So it's not a viable pregnancy. There's no way to like move it or save the pregnancy. So it can be deadly to the mother if you don't terminate the pregnancy. So that's what I had to go through then. And then I had a chemical pregnancy, so I got a positive pregnancy test, and then I ended up like getting my period a couple days later, which was just like a very early miscarriage, I think, or that's what my doctor thinks. And then the month after that, we couldn't do Clomid because I had just had the chemical pregnancy, and so we didn't know the timing of the day to start, because you're supposed to start Clomid on a certain day of your cycle. And so then I got pregnant with my daughter without any medication or anything, just like natural trying to get pregnant in August of 2018. So that was a very quick and condensed summary of how we got to getting pregnant with my daughter. That was a healthy pregnancy. Well, she was healthy. I did have gestational diabetes, which was very hard, and I didn't feel well during that pregnancy, but everything went fine, and she was very healthy when she was born and has been a very healthy baby and now toddler since then. And we had been told by our doctors not to wait too long to try for another baby, because it took so long for the first one, and if we want more than one child or multiple children after the first, then we should, you know, kind of get on that pretty quick. So we had originally planned to start trying for baby number 2 when my daughter was like, I don't know, like 18 months or so, like in fall of 2020. And then we all know what happened in 2020. So we just put it off a little bit, and we decided, you know what, let's wait till 2021, see how things are. And I think that's last I had updated you. I told you guys like at the end of last summer, early fall, I posted a video with an update just saying like, we're gonna wait till January and see where things are at with a vaccine and just everything and how we feel and reevaluate then. So now it is like March of 2021 and I haven't updated with you guys, and I wanted to let you know what's going on. So first of all, we are going to start trying soon. I don't know exactly when, and I'll talk about that in a second, but we are going to start trying soon. Part of what we are waiting for is to see if I could be vaccinated before trying to get pregnant rather than once I was pregnant, because I just feel like I would love to be able to enjoy my pregnancy a little bit more and relax this time, because last time was so stressful, and I think if I was vaccinated that would be easier for me to do. I think I would get the vaccine while pregnant now that there's more data out showing that it's been safe, but the full studies aren't going to be available for a long time, so it's not something I'm going to be able to know for sure. So for me personally, I felt like I'd rather wait a little bit longer and get vaccinated first. And so after the first of the year, our state came out and said that everyone will be able to get the vaccine. It'll be opened up to everyone by April of this year. So we were looking at it and we're like, it's January now. We've already waited like another, 3-4 months from when we planned to wait. What's another 3 or 4 months? So we decided to wait till April and see if, the timeline of the vaccine was gonna be what they said it was, and it turns out it is. We're actually have our appointments scheduled because it's opened up for our group now. And so my husband and I both have appointments scheduled for a couple weeks from now, so that's super exciting. So we'll be getting our first vaccine, and then depending on which one we get, we'll get a second dose or not. We actually won't know until we get there which vaccine we're getting, but yeah, we have our appointments scheduled, and so that's super exciting. And I'm actually gonna document that experience. If you are nervous about getting the COVID vaccine and you want to see kind of like how it goes for someone else, then I'm going to try to document that so I can tell you guys about how it was for me. I am very confident in the safety of that vaccine, and if you're on the fence, I think you should get it, because the chance of side effects from a vaccine versus the over 500,000 people that have died from this disease, and nobody's died from the vaccine, it's just, to me, it's a no-brainer. If you're on the fence, just do it. So anyway, I don't want to get on a rant about that, but we are both getting the vaccine. I'm not worried about its effect on fertility. They've done studies and there's any sort of data that indicates anything having to do with it impacting fertility. And so that was a big concern for me, having struggled with infertility for a long time, but I'm not worried about it at all, and I want to be as safe as possible while I'm pregnant and be healthy for my daughter who I have and a future baby. After I get my vaccine, which again depends if it's 2 shots or 1 or the timing of it, we are probably going to start trying like the next month after that. So I don't know what the timing is going to be with like my cycle, but if I get the second dose of the vaccine, if it's a 2-dose vaccine, and I like ovulate a few days later or like a week or 2 later, then we're probably not going to try that month and just give my body a little bit more time to acclimate to the vaccine and wait till the next month. But if I'm like ovulating around the time I get the vaccine, and then, the next month, I would probably be ready to try. So it's looking like it's gonna be this summer. So it's still a few months away to try. I am very excited and anxious and nervous and overwhelmed and all like the feelings about trying to get pregnant again. It may go really smoothly and happen quick. It may not. I think a huge part of why I got pregnant is because I did get on my thyroid medication, which leveled out my thyroid levels to the like optimal level for trying to conceive, whereas before they were like way out of range. So I'm hoping this time around that everything goes smoothly. When I had my daughter, I didn't get my period back for I think 10 months, and then after that I've gotten it every single month since then, like very regular. I know exactly when I'm ovulating, exactly when my period's coming, so that is a huge leg up, whereas before like I wasn't getting a period regularly for the first year, and then after I got on thyroid medication, it got a lot more regular, but not like 100% normal, predictable period cycle. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I did go to the doctor for my annual exam because I hadn't been since my like 6-week postpartum exam, which was in like June of 2019. And so I did go to the doctor like a couple months ago because I was way overdue, and just checked in with her and got examined. Everything everything looks good and everything's healed properly. I had a lot of tearing and stitches from delivery, and she said everything looks like it's healed correctly, which is great. But yeah, I kind of had like some TTC questions for her, and so one of which was to check my thyroid, and so she did order thyroid labs, and my numbers are in the correct range. So my endocrinologist wanted my TSH to be between 1 and 2, and it was like 1.1 or something, so it's right in the good range for TTC. I also discussed with her my ectopic history, because when I got pregnant with my daughter, I was still with my reproductive endocrinologist, and so they have like different procedures than a regular OB's office. And so I just wanted to see what their procedure was, because when you've had an ectopic, then when you get pregnant again, they want to do a lot of really early testing to make sure they catch another ectopic if it happens. If you have an ectopic pregnancy once, you have a much higher chance of it happening again. So they want to stay on top of that to make sure they catch that early on, again, because it can be really dangerous for the mom. So I did ask her about like what they do in terms of timing for testing, and she said if you have a history of ectopic, then as soon as you get a positive, you call them and they do 2 blood tests to make sure that your HCG is rising regularly. And then they normally do the first ultrasound like in a normal pregnancy around 7 weeks. And for if you've had an abnormal pregnancy like an ectopic, then they do it at like 5 or 6 weeks. So that's super early on. If you don't know, like when you test and get a positive, you're already considered like 4 weeks pregnant. So really a week after, or maybe 2 weeks after your positive pregnancy test, is when they do the first ultrasound. So it's kind of cool that you get to go in early, not cool that it could be for like a reason where your pregnancy isn't viable, but you get to see the little baby like very, very early on if it's a healthy pregnancy. So I also talked to her about the tailbone pain I had. I had a lot of tailbone pain right after delivery. I could like barely sit. I had to get one of those like donut pillows to sit on because like I couldn't stand pressure on my tailbone. And I asked her if it's possible to like fracture your tailbone during delivery, and she said absolutely, and that's probably what happened, and that some people get that reoccurring tailbone pain when they get pregnant again, so not to be super surprised about that. So hopefully not, but if it happens, it happens. There's nothing I can do about it. I also told her that my epidural didn't work. She was asking like if I had anything unusual during my pregnancy or delivery, because this is a different doctor. It's actually a midwife, because my doctor left the practice like shortly after I had my baby, and there's no female doctors available in like a close location to me, but there is a midwife, and I actually saw her a couple of times when my doctor wasn't available for like my normal prenatal appointments. So I actually knew her from those appointments, and I really liked her. So I don't know if I'll stick with her. I need to do more research about the difference between a midwife and a doctor, but I think basically a midwife can do everything a doctor can except for like a C-section. So she was asking if I had like anything unusual or difficult with delivery, and I told her my epidural didn't really work, only on one side, and so she thinks that's because I have scoliosis, so my spine goes like this in one part. So I don't know if an epidural will ever work well for me, but yeah, she thinks that's what that was. And also because I had gestational diabetes, she said we will do that glucose test where you have to drink the disgusting sugary drink. We'll do that early for me, a little earlier than normal because of the gestational diabetes history. So yeah, she just recommended taking a prenatal vitamin and a vitamin D supplement for wintertime until it gets warmer, which it's actually now getting warmer. I had this appointment like a little while ago. I just haven't had time to film this video. And let's see, what else? Yeah, she basically just said call as soon as I get a positive. So yeah, that's pretty much the update. I'm super excited to make more TTC content for you. Just being perfectly honest, at the time I started my channel, I hadn't told really any friends or family about it, and so when I would post content about like a positive or anything like that, I didn't have to worry about like telling my people my real life first before posting, because I obviously want to tell them like personally rather than them just seeing from a video I was posting. But now that it's like, you know, 3.5 years later, and I have a much bigger following on my channel, and also have told all my friends and family about my channel pretty much. It's been weird because like I planned to tell a lot of people about it last year, and then with COVID, like I haven't seen people. So anyway, but a lot of people know about it, and definitely all my family knows about it. And so I will probably be delaying my posting of my videos by like, I don't know how long. So whenever you see a video go up, it will probably be from at least a few weeks ago, but I'll time my videos in the spacing that they happen in real life. So if I, you know, do a video like tracking my ovulation and I get a positive ovulation test, and then I do a pregnancy test like 10 days later, like those videos will go up 10 days apart. So they'll be kind of spaced like real time for you, but they'll just be delayed in real time. So I have an opportunity to tell my friends and family about any updates, good or bad, that I want to share with them before any videos go up. So that is the update. I am super excited to get going with this. I've been waiting for such a long time. This is so much longer than I thought we were gonna have to wait, but I feel like this was the right decision for us. I just want to be as safe as possible and enjoy my pregnancy as much as possible. And the thing is, for me with the vaccine, like if it takes me a year to get pregnant, I'm not gonna hold off getting vaccinated for a year because I'm still trying to get pregnant. Like, you know what I mean? So it could take a while, and so I'm just really glad I'm just getting the vaccine over with, getting it done, and then can just focus on trying to have another baby and just, you know, not have that looming over as another worry of like when to get vaccinated, because I didn't want to get vaccinated in the first trimester for sure, because the only bad thing I read with the vaccine is it can cause a high fever, and high fever in the first trimester is associated with birth defects. And so I would have wanted to wait at least until the second trimester if I was going to get vaccinated while pregnant. And now that it's available, you know, pretty soon, I don't want to have to like delay my vaccine when it's available in the next like couple weeks. So yeah, that is it. If you guys have any questions, I know I went through a lot of stuff really fast, so if you have questions or are confused about anything that I said, then comment below, let me know what questions you have. I cannot wait to share this process with you guys. I hope it's like not that many videos for the TTC stuff and it's just a quick and easy thing, but we all know that life always doesn't work out that way, so it may be a lot of content and maybe very little, but we'll just have to see. That's part of the unknown of getting pregnant, is you just don't know how it's gonna happen or when it's gonna happen and how long it's gonna take. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon in another video. Bye.